Hello and welcome to our Rotary Cup. It is 23rd of October. We'll start off with a pledge who we have today in one pile. Trees is not here. But they're not coming. Yes, the trees is not here. And we do have to heat up for you, but four-way test.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Of the things we think, say, and do, number one, is it the truth? Two, is it fair to all concerned? Three, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Four, will it be beneficial to all concerned? I don't know.
All right, next you have our secret.
I was thinking about today's meeting, thinking about the march that happened this last week and just noticing how important it is for people on both sides, no matter your political views, to speak out and speak the truth right now. So I started looking around on the internet, like, where did this idea of speaking truth with power come from? And I wanted to share a couple things like that. So in 1919, eulogy for a senator, one of his colleagues stated, I honored him because he was among the few men who dared to speak truth to the people in the presence of the king. That's and dare to speak truth to the king in the presence of the people.
That's right. Wow, that's good.
And then the specific phrase "speak truth to power" came about in 1942. A Black Quaker and leader in the civil rights movement advocating for nonviolent methods in his fight for social justice wrote in a letter that the primary social function of a religious society is to speak truth to power. The truth is that war is wrong. The phrase was then picked up again in the 1955 text about pacifist strategies, so not religious, to achieve justice, titled Speaking Truth to Power, which became a guide for many people organizing against violence during the Cold War. So a lot of my searches for this phrase focused on a world leader, for instance, Malala. I'm not going to say her last name because I won't share it, but we all know who she is because she earned she was a young girl known for her activism on behalf of women's education in Pakistan, and she won a Nobel Prize in 2014 at just 17 years of age. Right? Many people have done being that Luther King like that. But it takes all of us, not just people exalted for their courage and conviction. And last Saturday, 7 million people in over 2,700 locations in our country have the courage and conviction to speak their own truth. And that's inspiring.
Yes. Yes, very inspiring indeed. So we have some visiting Rotarians. We have Roger Singer, who is going to speak with us in just a minute. He has an announcement to make. We have some non-Rotarian visitors, and one of those is Dan Anway from Cartwrights and
Dawn.
What's that? Dawn. Okay, sorry. Dawn, thank you. And we also have Julie here from the City of Grants Pass. She is the yes.
Sorry, I want to introduce my guest, Julie Hall from City of Grants Pass, and she was the person with whom we worked on art along the road, and she thought we were all cool. So she's here today checking us out. So please cultivate her. Thank you.
And I will agree also, I will also agree she's pretty cool, because I've worked with her for the last 9 years, and she's really cool, so we'd love to have her join us.
And my guest is Don Anway. He's the vice president of Cartwright's Markets and Cartwright's Tap Rock Restaurant. He's gonna be coming back in 2 weeks to do a program for us about the story of Cartwright's, but he wanted to come meet us all first.
Thank you very much. And announcements, I know that, announcements, first of all, I'm gonna do a couple announcements. So announcements, come on up, stand in line, and get her done.
Hi, everybody. On behalf of Boys and Girls Club, we have our final fundraising event of the year. Keys for Kids, which some people joined me last year. But it's our Dueling Pianos fundraiser here in Grants Pass. It's on November 7th, and it is a super good time. If you have not gone, I suggest looking into it. It's only $50, and that includes dinner, 2 drink tickets, and a wonderful show. Last year I was responsible for drink tickets, so everyone got 2 plus a few more. So if you come, drinks are on Allison. Thank you.
Carry me out of there. Okay, come on.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. Roger Singer from the Wednesday Group and also proud board member of the Joe Street County Food Bank. I am back with the results of our contest for Hunger Action Month to where we did a great job. I'll tell you right now, the 3 Grants Pass clubs combined, we gave enough for 8,000 meals.
Wow.
And right now we're running about 21,000. It'll go up probably November 1st. But that's over a third of all the meals that we need to get out there. So Friday, they contributed with 123 pounds. The Wednesday Club, we had 932 pounds. And this mighty Thursday Club, just apples to apples, you don't have to do that yet. Apples to apples, in that same time period that Wednesday did 932, you did 1,100. Plus the 500 that you had coming in that Patrice said, don't put that in the contest. So that was a total of 2,655 pounds. So thank you, everybody. And I'm working with Doug as to, what we will do for you or you will do for us or something. But thank you again very, very much. Appreciate it.
Well, good afternoon. A week from today, we are hosting at our home the Halloween party for the club. We're very excited to have, I think about 30 people have already signed up to attend. We're going to be having tamales by Alma for dinner and all those fun things. Now, if I'm reading the emails correctly today, there's going to be a lot of booze there.
Yeah.
Okay. Right? Okay. Of a variety, what? Yes, yep. So, the yard's decorated and you can come by, you don't have to wait till next Thursday, you're welcome to come by. We usually plug everything in by 4 o'clock, turn everything off by about 8:30. There is over 100 items in the front yard, and it's 75 inflatables and just a whole bunch of other stuff. So it's quite entertaining, and lit up, and Jennifer's working really hard on the back part where the party will be. So looking forward to visiting. If you could please, if you haven't done so already, do RSVP by the end of today. I'd like to order the food tomorrow so that they have trying to get it all ready for us. Okay, so that's my big ask. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Hi, I'm student. I'm a student from France, and maybe you were here 2 weeks ago when I present my things, maybe not. So, in your table, you have, some paper, and I am selling some grape. And, it's because I will join the equestrian team, and it's a little expensive, so I do fundraiser. And so if you want for,
Bye.
I don't know, yeah, if you want to buy, this, you can, and thank you.
Hi, just a quick reminder that this Saturday night for our guys, WCSP is having a fundraiser. There's live music, every pint that sells, the money goes directly to WCSP, who's prizes. And it's an auction and it should be a lot of fun. So if you're free, please come.
Just 5 minutes, okay, sorry. Okay, everyone, 2 quick announcements. First, I'm really excited to share that we've already hit 10,000 on the scholarship for Luke Springer. That's 24 hours, and I'll pass that around. If you know, he's been sick, he's in the hospital. And I was trying to think of something to cheer him up, and it came to me, maybe we could get an endowed scholarship going. And that's just for members in our club and a few miscellaneous friends, so that's just super exciting. I'll pass around how to donate if you like. And the other is that I'm turning 70 on November 30th, and I want to give you plenty of time to get your shopping done.
That does indeed sound like another social to me. All right, and now I will bring up Mary. Today is a very special day. It is polio day, and we have her to share some information about polio. And if we have time, I have the colored sheet on there. On your is something I'd like you to do.
We need to do that.
Hello, everyone. I'm Zara Dar. Tomorrow, October 24th, is World Polio Day. Really?
Yep.
Instead of celebrating, however they usually do that, we have very sad news. On Tuesday this week, October 21st, it was reported that global polio funding will be cut by 30% for 2026. This will lead to $1.7 billion funding gap that is projected through 2029. So why is this happening? It's because pullback in foreign aid by USA, Germany, and United Kingdom, the richest countries. And how will that impact polio eradication? The Global Initiative Organization, they are going to reduce activities in low-risk areas. They're going to focus on surveillance and vaccination in high-risk places like Afghanistan and Pakistan, where in this year there were 36 reported cases of wild polio that was detected there. This is higher than the years before. And the other way that they do this is to cut costs. The program will adopt strategies like fractional dosing, where smaller doses of vaccine will be used to stretch the supplies. Although this method will protect the kids who actually get those small doses, however, the virus that they excrete can spread and mutate among unvaccinated population, leading to vaccine-derived cases. In 2025, there were 149 such cases occurred in Nigeria. So this is all very sad, but ending polio is still achievable with continued commitment. That is how as we know, our great partner, Gates Foundation, will match 2 to 1 when Rotarians will raise $50 million per year. So we get too long. Our club here is doing pretty well. We have 31 members out of 71 who have committed to donating $100 per year. Plus we raise other contributions. But can we do better? Yes. I think more of us can be members of the polio committee. And on vaccination, unbelievable, but 6.7 of the USA infants are not vaccinated. Maybe now with all these vaccine chatter around, it may be a lot more. So maybe with permission, I'll be discussing with Dr. Murray. He'll get me more information from our leadership, with lovely lady who was here, the governor, Chris, and others. We could, I mean, I've worked with CDC before in my past job. And Dr. Murray will help me get the way of getting data to see how many kids are not vaccinated in the USA, number and distribution. Where are they? So that we can maybe create a program that will help to encourage vaccinations around the country. So if polio exists anyway, it is a threat everywhere. And if we stop now, 200,000 children may be paralyzed by polio within the coming 10 years. Thank you.
Thank you. And I just want to say, I am a Polio Plus member, I love him here. And I really do encourage you, and if there's any time to start being a Polio Plus member, just go to myrotary.org under donate and sign up, because this is the time they need us. And I was actually gonna do a little, the color on there, because I do have something, but if we're gonna bring this back and we're gonna get more statistics, I'll just wait. But I will tell you, if you get the Rotary magazine, which I think every one of us do as part of it, you should read this month's. They have an article, I mean, actually, I read the whole thing, it's quite impressed, but they have an article on polio and where we've come. It's called a polio parable, and it shows pictures of the iron lungs and what it was like. And, you know, it seems like so long ago, but it wasn't that long ago. So I would suggest you read it, and there's a little quiz I was gonna do, that's why the numbers are there, but I don't have time. But I will do it again, I'll keep it to another time. So if you go home and read your magazine, there's a 13-question quiz about polio. And so you could read up and you could have a heads up or a pull the quiz on you one of these the Thursday. In the meantime, we're gonna move on because we have a guest today and we don't want to lose our fun sergeant of arms, we often do. So I'm here to introduce to you Seth Benham. He is a current city council person, which takes, we all know how much that takes. And so we totally appreciate that he is serving on the council. He has been here before with Novus Visuals. He has a business in town and he does marketing, digital marketing. And he now has become the head of Main Street USA. Just a little history. When I was on council, we kind of obliterated, I don't know if you remember, John Bowen ran for the city, and that was a disaster. We burned that man out because he was doing too much. And so we had it was his choice, but consultant came in and said, this is ridiculous, this is what you need to do. You need a separate organization to run your tourism, which we now have Visit Grants Pass. That runs it, but he said the missing piece was a downtown organization as well run. And so Seth stepped up to the plate to run it. We had it happen. He did get some grants to help out a little bit. And I really, as a leader in the community, and I know we're all leaders, want to support this idea of a Main Street to keep our gem of the downtown moving, and events. That's what we really all love, is events. And that's kind of what they're trying to take on, is to take on and help our downtown grow, help it get strong, and then help run events. But I'll let Seth talk about it.
Thank you. Thanks for the introduction. My name's Seth, introduce me. I have a lot of hats. I'll start by saying that I do all these things because I was born and raised in Grants Pass, have no kids, And, you know, I love this place, I never moved away, thought I would after high school, but I didn't, so I'm here. Started my business, and so, yeah, how many of you have heard Main Street Grants Pass? Good. How many of you have seen my presentation before? Perfect. Yeah, so I've got a fairly short presentation, and I can answer questions, if you have any. So yeah, Main Street Grants Pass, like, well, also, how many of you follow along with the city council and Main Street and what we can do there? Okay, some of you, I'll fill you all in, so.
Point it this way.
Oh, yeah,
This one?
go through this every time.
You say it like that.
And I think it's frozen here for some reason. It'll catch on in a moment. Go ahead and start talking.
Okay. So, I mean, basically, Main Street Grants Pass, right? So our ultimate goal is to revitalize and just continue the same sustainability downtown. And so I'll skip to the next, yeah, on the third slide. I'll give you a little bit of history on how we got here. So I do want to start this with, in 2021, this was a strategic plan goal of city council to start some kind of downtown organization. We have a town center association for a while. I'm sure a lot of you remember that. And then in the interim, John Bowen kind of took over, like Valerie mentioned, and then there's kind of a gap there. There's no one, right? So it's working now. So in 2023, the DMO, which back then was Travel Grants Pass, it's now renamed to Visit Grants Pass. Got some grant money and hired a consultant from out of the area to do a study on downtown and just Grants Pass in general, mostly focused on downtown, what the merchants, property owners, the stakeholders were interested in. So out of that.
Slide.
Sorry, I shared on Zoom.
You're good.
Share the whole screen.
There you go.
Let's talk.
There you go.
There we go.
Help where you want.
Third slide. Okay, it's a little bit messed up, sorry about that, but, okay, so in 2023, they completed the downtown roadmap. I don't know if anyone's seen that document, it's, I don't know, 70 pages or something like that. And there's a lot of good information there. They did a lot of studies, they interviewed a lot of people downtown and around town. And so at the beginning of 2024, so we're coming up on almost 2 years, they held a downtown roadmap event here actually. And there was 70 people or so that showed up, downtown business owners, community members, you name it. And that's where we kind of talked about the roadmap and what that meant and kind of what was the next step. And so out of that is kind of where we formed the idea that let's start an organization. So I was one of 3 people that volunteered to do that. At that time, I was just running my business and I figured, you know, it's time to get more involved. So I volunteered for that with 2 other downtown merchants. I kind of spun my wheels for 4 months. I don't come from the nonprofit sector, so I'm not familiar with, you know, at that point in time, you know, starting a nonprofit, how to do all that. So my original 2 committee members, they had to step down, just couldn't miss at the time. So then it was just me, went back to the drawing board, went to the city, we formed another steering committee, and out of that, we actually got a lot more involvement.
Good work. Good work.
And so that was, I don't know, a year and a half ago. Then fast forward, there's the Main Street USA, which I'll talk about that here next. We kind of went under their track. There's Main Street USA, there's Oregon Main Street, and individual cities within Oregon can have their own Main Street program. Basically, just get access to a lot of free resources. And it's kind of built out for you, so you don't have to start from scratch. We also are eligible to apply for the Oregon Main Street Revitalization Grant, which we did apply. I don't know if anyone heard that. We got $400,000 for partake. They bought the Key Jewelers building and they're working on it. So that was kind of a huge win for us. It was a really last minute submission, and we were scrambling because we just formed the board. And so now, fast forward now, we have formed the board. We've got 11 great members on the board. And yeah, you know, we're all volunteers and we're all trying our best. And so that's where we're at now, and keep going. Keep on the wrong way, maybe. There we go. So let me talk about Main Street real quick. So the Main Street, this is Main Street USA. This is kind of their four pillars. And so it starts with organization, right? So focusing on strategic partnerships and securing essential resources for sustainable growth of the organization. There's the design pillar, which is, preserving the historic character of downtown, while improving public spaces. Economic vitality is, meant to support existing businesses while attracting new investments downtown. And then the fourth one is promotions, right? So creating events and helping marketing the downtown as a whole. So our early momentum, we've had some ups and downs, but we had a subcommittee kickoff event a couple weeks ago, a month or so ago, actually, to split off into kind of 4 subcommittees. And so we had around 50 business owners downtown, property owners, and community members come to that event to sign up for one of our 4 pillars to kind of help push things along. We got a lot of business interest. We're building strategic partnerships as we speak, and just trying to create that unified vision of what Main Street is for Grants Pass. And here's just some stats of Main Street as a whole from Oregon. I'm not going to read all these off, but you can kind of see this is a 10-year window, 2011 to 2021. The big thing, when I first helped start Main Street Grants Pass was the idea of collaborating with all the other organizations. Being on city council, I hear a lot that there's a lot of organizations and they all do the same thing, which there might be some, but that's incorrect for most. So we kind of got this Venn diagram, right? The 3 main ones we have are Visit Grants Pass, that's our tourism DMO. They focus on anything 50 miles and beyond, promoting Grants Pass to drive tourism. The Chamber of Commerce, of course, they're first supporting business as a whole in Grants Pass, and then Main Street Grants Pass, right? So we all 3 of us connect and intertwine. We have services that match each other, but we also have services that are very specific to our members, to who we serve. And then overarching that really is the city of Grants Pass, right? The economic development department, and we work closely with them. So right now, the last couple months or so has been a little up and down with uncertainty of what we're going to do. Right. So we're all volunteer. That $400,000 grant that we got can't go towards our operational costs or hiring an executive director. So that's all just passed through to the recipient of the grant. So none of that money we get to use for anything. So we still have to do the work to administer it. And so our goal as a board was to get enough money to hire an executive director, right? Because this is a program that if we want to make sustainability long term, we need somebody that is committed to downtown. We had, there was somebody that worked for the city that was doing a lot of that. Fortunately, is no longer with the city, but when that person was in place, the downtown business owners and property owners really enjoyed that. And I thought that there was a lot of communication going on. So having that position in place to communicate full time is very important for the sustainability. So we came to council multiple times, I think 4 or 5 at this point, asking for originally a 3-year funding package, with decreasing values each year, so we could show sustainability beyond just city funding. And I will preface this that most Main Street programs have some form of government city support across the United States. So it's not common. There's some misconceptions about that. And so ultimately, this was October 15th, City Council approved half of the 1-year funding that we wanted. So we got 50,000. And so that's where we're at right now. That was, depends how you look at it. It was a win. Some people thought it was a loss. We're still going to move forward. As you know, $50,000 hiring executive director is limited, right? In only 1 year, right? So it's hard to get somebody to commit to that money and saying, hey, we only have 1 year out of guarantee for you. So we're working currently to find some private funding as well, which I think we will be getting. And as part of that, I don't think it's on this slide. We are currently a 501c6, which, there's benefits and there's downsides. So we are forming a 501c3 as we speak, so that we can bring in private donations, as a tax write-off for them. So we form a separate board with that, just to kind of manage that side of things. How you can help, Valerie mentioned, how your group can help, maybe other Rotaries. I mean, really, for us, like I said, the big one is closing that gap, right? And we're working every day to try to find some private funding, and also, we're working on events, right? So, I will bring this up in just a sec on kind of our subcommittee's priorities, but, one of the things we're pushing to do, long term, not maybe this summer, I'm not 100% sure yet, is bring back to the 50s or, do similar, back to downtown, the cruise specifically. So that's one of our big things, right? And hopefully that'll bring in some revenue streams for us as we can get those established. You can also help by sponsoring or adopting a project, or just come alongside any event or project that we put on downtown, and I'm happy to talk more about that as we progress. Always looking for volunteers. The 4 pillars are great, and I'll just segue that right now really quick because I missed that earlier. So our 4 pillars again: design, economic vitality, organization, and promotions. I just wanted to talk about, out of our subcommittee meeting, the goal was for each subcommittee to create their top 3 priorities moving forward. And so all these are really great. I'll just kind of briefly list them off. So for the design subcommittee, the 3 top priorities were facade and streetscape improvements throughout downtown, green infrastructure and beautification, and wayfinding and placemaking. So that was the design subcommittee. Economic vitality, top priorities were to create a merchant communication network, sort of like a GIS system, but with just as much data as we can put on there. A business and support network, along with workshops for new businesses, existing business owners, and a multitude of topics. And then second story revitalization. Organization and grant subcommittee, which I believe is a member of you, right? Their 3 top priorities were grant development management, organizational capacity and structure, and community partnerships. And then our promotions subcommittee had 3 top priorities, which was First Friday revitalization, holiday promotions, and just new event development as a whole. So those are the priorities, and I think those are all great. And those subcommittees have already been meeting as we speak. I'm heading up to economic vitality, but I think all the other ones have had meetings as well. Back to this, be a community connector. As much as you can spread the word about Main Street, like I said, they've had ups and downs. We're all busy on the board. We all have other things in our lives, and so communication is always key. And that's one of the things that as a new board, especially starting up, maybe we've dropped the ball there at certain points, but that's not our intentions, right? So I think as we move forward, getting an executive director, that'll really help a lot. And then just again, champion the vision. My goal is just to create a great downtown. It's already great. I talk to people from Ashland, Medford, Jacksonville that say to me, "Oh, Grants Pass downtown is either on the rise or it's already great. They have great restaurants, great businesses." So it's definitely something that I think people are recognizing around the valley. That's the end of the presentation. Does anyone have questions? Sure.
Just a minute, I'm the runner.
Okay.
I'd love to talk to you more, just you and I at some point. I was the president of the tourism committee years ago. And you did a lot of what you're talking about. I actually started First Friday 100,000 years ago with 2 of my friends. And so I'd love to help in whatever way I could. And what I was wondering was, the city used to have a full-time position that they funded. And I am assuming from your conversation or discussion with us that that's no longer there. Any way to get that back?
A position for
The full-time director?
So there's the economic development department, right? So there's the director and currently. Yeah, so in that case, then no, there's no downtown specific person on staff at city right now. That's at least in charge of running events and putting things on. Although the city does have some events that they are currently running, right? So Art Along the Road is one of them. Tree lighting, Isn't there one more? Fourth of July, which is not technically downtown, but yes, Fourth of July.
Just interviewed for the specialist yesterday, so they will be getting.
Yeah, so they're doing interviews right now for the similar position I mentioned earlier that is no longer the city. They're hiring for that. So, but again, you know, they don't all encompass all of what we are also doing as Main Street, right? It assists for sure. So.
I think the Main Street was pretty. We're here. Oh, sure.
Honest, I got a question too.
Oh,
So it sounds like, and maybe I'm wrong, that the significant focus is sort of events and things like that bring people down. Is that, did I interpret that correctly? And then I have another question.
Yeah, sort of. Yes and no. You know, we've talked about this as a board, right? We don't want to just be an coordination, you know, organization, although we do want to host events. So we're trying to be strategic, right? We know that back to the 50s is a big one that people want, not only the community, but businesses downtown really want that back down there. You know, obviously it's a big undertaking, so that's one of the big ones. You know, we also took over First Friday. And so one of our board members, he does a lot for First Friday. You know, we've been having pop-ups downtown. Nothing's been in the last couple months, but there's been a lot more activity downtown from First Friday. So yeah, and there's others that we're talking about. There's potentials of taking on some of the city events that they're doing, like our own road potentially, but it's not, you know, nothing's final.
The second one was, when I was involved with the city with the Housing Advisory Committee, some of the things that we bumped into that seemed to apply to this was building code that restricted people coming into the downtown. But also there was other code that made it easier to be in strip malls outside of the downtown. And we never got around to having the time and energy to address it, but it would be nice to maybe address or audit some of those obstacles that can bring people into the downtown business, new business in the downtown, excuse me. And then maybe do the flip and reverse and make it a little less easy to plant your new business in strip mall at the outer edges of town.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm passionate about the development piece of downtown. That's kind of like, you know, more of a long-term vision, right? It takes time to go through all that, but yeah.
Yeah, get the process.
Well, first of all, thank you for your service. It sounds like you do quite a bit. What is the status of the, I guess, the plaza at Fifth and H or G and H and?
Owl lot?
Yeah, the lot,
Yeah.
with the brand new mural behind it.
Yeah, that's a good question. I stay on top of that as much as I can. The last I was told is that they're, and again, this is like a month and a half ago, so I need to go do another update check, but I think they're supposed to start. I think either in the next couple months or first of the year. Yeah.
I will just say, just because I kind of keep in the loop too, the first thing they had to do is they had to bring I don't know if it was a water line or a sewer line to Fifth Street. And that is both of them. Okay, so they're bringing a water and sewer plant. If you've been down in that area, you've seen the city's been doing a lot of work. That's what they had to do first. So they start from the river, and last time I checked, they were like on K or whatever, coming up Fifth. And as soon as that's complete, that's when if I'm correct, that's when they're gonna start the class. But that had to happen first, and it is happening. It's been happening all summer. So I would say, I think they wanted to get it by this coming summer.
That's what I'm looking for.
before along the road, but.
Before our thing. Yeah, but anyway, so I think that's the ultimate plan.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for doing this, and being a leader in this space. And I was just gonna say this for our entire group and for, you know, just the region in general. We have a real great asset, and there's an opportunity here to build something, but what we've really been lacking is vision and an idea of where we need to go. And I feel like Main Street is that place that can give us that vision so that we can continue to build and do the little bits on the side. And then next thing we do, we turn around and go, oh my God, this is an amazing place for business, for families, for communities. So, but that doesn't happen without an organization like this that can give us that place to have the vision. So I just want to say thank you so much, and we really appreciate it.
I couldn't agree more, which is why I have you here, and I want to know whatever we can do to come along to help you. And like I said, we're good at volunteering, except if you walk on the highways. So we are, but we do like to volunteer, and we did help with Art Along the Road, and I think we want to be supportive of businesses in our downtown area, because I agree with Josh, we have a gem. And if you have gone anywhere else, we have some amazing people too, and artists and all sorts of things, and you know, that's our strength, and we need to encourage it, because the second it is, tourism is a huge part of our existence in this town.
I want to also thank you for your involvements across the board, and I want to compliment you on your political ethics of recusing yourself when some of the votes came up from on the council that affected you. So thanks for doing that. That's good government. My question is about one of the criticisms that I read indirectly from the Courier's coverage was some other council members wanted to see more memberships developed so that the current businesses downtown were dues paying members of Main Street. Can you tell us a bit about what the obstacles are there and what plans? I mean, I know there's a lot of work being done. But, and I know they have, I'm not a business owner, but I know there's not a lot of the investment of that sort of thing. There's probably a lot of competition for your extra dollars.
Yeah, I mean, so when we formed as a 501c6, that was our, kind of our thought process was to be a membership organization. However, looking back on it, may not have been the right move. We're still gonna move forward with 501c6 for new both. The membership model is obviously difficult. We only have a limit. I think we have 220-ish businesses, property owners in our downtown district. So we also have a district, right? So it's C Street down to the river, and then 8th and 9th, right? So that's kind of our, 9th to 5th. And it kind of jogs over off on G Street a little bit. So that topic did come up a lot during council meetings. We do have members. It was, again, we're all volunteers, so it's one of those things we kind of have to hit the pavement and convince people to sign up. And we also have the chamber, which we work close to the chamber, right? But they also have some of the same members. And we talked about, is it competition? Is it, what do we do? We compete at all, and we didn't come to that conclusion. But like I said earlier, a lot of these organizations, Main Street specifically, are, do have outside funding. And so whether that's from city government or other areas, right? And that's why, we do have some potential private donors that are invested in downtown that want to give back. And so that's really what I want to focus on. I will not just say we just only need city money and then go from there, right? I think we need more than that. But we're gaining members. It's also, like I said, when I started it, when we built the board, that's a complex system of like, hey, what do you offer for membership? And I don't want to offer too much and then under deliver, which that kind of became the issue in the beginning, right? Is we had all these great ideas, but how do you execute them, with a fully volunteer board? So we're still working through those kinks. And again, it's such a new organization, it's hard to quantify the success right off the bat just off memberships. And so I get where some of the comments came from, although I would disagree on some of it. So
Maybe any other questions?
Thank you very much. This is exciting. I just had a thought that I would throw out there, and I have no idea whether it's helpful or not, but I'll probably throw it out there. When you were talking about getting businesses interested as members, that is so tricky, particularly in a small town like ours. And I was thinking about how you're putting events together, and I wondered if instead of charging a fee, there could be an annual event that increases the business and celebrates your organization and their membership, and whatever they earn extra that day goes to Main Street. Anyway, it would be a way, because if I
love that. So
I was putting in myself a business owner, like, you want me to what?
Yeah.
Do you know my profit margin? So anyway, that was just a thought. And again, there's, we are a service organization. Should you ever want to endeavor in that, I will not volunteer other people, but I can help everybody. So there you go.
Perfect. Well, I will say too, our organization is meant to promote all of downtown. So it's hard to promote individual businesses, right? Especially as memberships grow. And so my thought process is, right, we're trying to drive people to downtown, and then it's kind of their discretion of where they shop, where they dine, right? So you gotta have that also, each business owner has to understand that part of it's on them too, right? To have the product, the service, whatever, you know, that people enjoy. So it's definitely, it's tricky.
No, I agree. I was nice to see that it goes all the way down to the river too, because I remember at one point it didn't.
It originally didn't, and we as a board changed that. I'm passionate about river. I think we underutilize river in Grants Pass. That's just my personal view. And so I really want to push things down that way. You know, and so hopefully as we get more developments and, you know, more businesses down there, you know, we can kind of bring that up. And we might split it like the river district, right? And then the downtown district on G and H. And so we've talked about doing separate little districts within, in a sense.
Yeah, and I thank you. Like I said, that's what it takes. It's a little bit at a time. And that's kind of what, when we heard from the original guy, that's what he said. You just have to start it. And once our plaza gets filled, I think that will it'll bring a focal point to downtown and more people will come down and then business will increase and then people will feel that whole thing happens. So thank you so much. And like I said, so listening to what we can do. Everybody shop downtown, go downtown. First Fridays are always wonderful events. So thank you very much, Seth.
Thank you.
Alrighty, and we do have time for our Sergeant of Arms who wants to keep it fun, so here we go.
Thank you. Yeah, so we used to sing in the clubs. So some of you may know that, you've been here a while. And then that got squashed because it wasn't always that great of singing. But I think I contributed a lot to that, they sad things. But it was a lot of fun to just sing out loud and not worry about whether you're good at it and to see the different versions of people's songs when they would bring a song for it. So people would sing for song. So I missed that. And I thought, well, I'm not advocating to bring it back. Because there's lots of things that I missed in my past I don't want to keep doing. And then I thought about being a kid and, you know, making farting noises as a 7-year-old. I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna bring that back, but I missed it because it was fun. But, so then we had that presentation from, Luce's daughter about the documentary she created about karaoke. And I thought that was really interesting. Let's do karaoke at Sergeant Arms. And then I was like, well, karaoke is kind of hard because you have to know the song. You gotta know when to pause and then when to start. And I don't know anything about keys or letters, A, B, C, whatever, or anything like that. So what I'm gonna try to do here is have a competition between this side of the room and that side of the room. We've got great prizes to give away for the winners. And then also for the one who does it the most best gets the flower there. Whoever sings it the loudest, most best as an individual gets that. So belt it out if you want to. So this side's gonna go first. And the first song I have, if I can pull this off with my Spotify and my speaker here, is how's it called? King of the Road. King of the Road. So we all have different songs. So they have King of the Road. And they're gonna sing that, and I'm gonna try to get it started here. My library. Okay, hang on. This is technology. I can't make the clicker work. I can't make. Okay, are you all ready to sing?
Yes.
Oh, he's there to help you. Go sing it. 50 cents. Belt it. I got no cigarettes, 2 hours of pushing through bars. 8 by 12 for good fun. I never been by no means. King of the road. The car, midnight train. Then it's and whoa, worn silky shoes. Don't pay no union dues. I sold those cookies I have found. Short when I feel in the road, on the children's and all the things, every head out there. Locked it ain't locked when no one turns, sing, say, Lawrence. Well, select, it says, no, that's. I ain't got no cigarettes, I'm 2 hours in rising. King of the road, trailers for sale. No, that's. Ain't got no cigarettes, I'm 2 hours. Let's see if I can automatically get the next one pop up here. Okay. I think I got it. Your next one is this side. And it's the.
Oh.
Lady Dawn. Okay, you ready? So one thing, we're gonna run out of time, so I will give you one song each, and then we'll go to the Rotary family song, that's for everybody, because it's how. But what's interesting is going down the path of trying to pick out songs, and then looking at the lyrics and thinking, okay, who's gonna know these songs? And I went back to some R&B songs from the 60s and 70s, and they're a little bit misogynistic and like, oh, you're talking about gay right there, and the whole thing, I'm like, I'm gonna go there. She was like, oh, I like that song a lot though. Damn. So anyway, are you all ready? They not very loud, so you gotta crank this thing, okay, you got this, all right. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
All right, this is.
No, there's more hers on this side.
See how they run. Okay, Happy Bucks are next, and that song, if we're going down to like the meaning of songs, looking at lyrics, the Beatles really have some good ones. They really created some upbeat, worthwhile songs, so good for the Beatles. Maybe Happy Bucks next. I would say The winner, both sides won.
Oh,
We both get to move on that. We both get to move on to the next level of competition, okay? And next is costumes for the Sweeney Halloween party is costumes. Next one, the winners are over here, and I must say, chocolate candy is really expensive right now. Okay. Yes, we got a big giant pile of peppers from the garden.
I know, sorry.
Happy Bucks.
I know myself.
Happy Bucks. I will start off. I got Happy Buck for Tim for the Sweeney Halloween party. That's gonna be fun. I appreciate you doing that. This is so good to leave. You left.
We picked some red Macintosh apples. They're small, but they're in a coffee box back there. And most of them don't have worms.
How'd you manage no worms in your apples? Okay, Happy Bucks. All right, I've got one. So this is a Happy Buck recruitment. So I am involved with the Gladiola High School Construction Training Program for the interns. And we, in a nice way, one of them came back to visit, that graduated last year. And she has been doing fast food since she got out of high school, and she really doesn't like it. And so she came back and she wanted to be involved again in the construction stuff. So she is interested, she really likes painting. She's done a little bit of painting. She's interested in training up in through the intern program to be a painter. So if any of you have a simple painting job you might want someone to do, we're gonna find a couple projects for her so we can train her up in painting so she can go get a full-time job as a painter. So any of you, a fence, something that's easy, let me know, please.
I have more of an announcement. One of my neighbors called and said at Fred Meyer, they have Progresso soup on sale for really like half price or something. And since the food bank is in need, anyway, just wanted to make that announcement. And I really appreciate that so many people are coming in and filling the voids that are being our money that is getting taken away from us. So I'm happy back for that.
I'll do a Calvin story because everyone likes Calvin stories. Last week Calvin didn't want to do his homework because at 6 years old, homework is really hard. And he told me he didn't want to go to school anymore. So I asked him what he would do all day if he didn't go to school. And he said, finally get some peace and quiet.
Oh, that's great. That reminds me too. I've been throwing some happy butts for Seth being here, for Julie being here, and just like old home week in the city. So thank you for that. I love that. And I love that how we are out supporting our businesses. But I also just started my the literacy program. So now I am going down twice a week to Lincoln Elementary School working with kindergartners. It's been a long time since I've been around kindergartners. So it's been very interesting to see him. And of course, the first day I walked in, there was a sub, which I had no idea who I was, what I was doing, whatever, which is fine. And one of the boys that's most difficult, who usually leaves the room during that time, whatever, but that person didn't show up either. So it was a little bit of a stress. But that's okay. I love it. And like I said, I'll have many tales as we move forward because they are priceless at that. Any other happy folks?
I gotta fill one in too. I got Happy Buck for Julie to see Julie's face, because she's been our point of contact with Porch Fest and the city and all the process we go through, and she's lovely. And especially when, in the beginning, when we really didn't kind of know what the hell we were doing, we were trying to figure things out, how gracious and pleasant she has been to deal with. Thank you.
Happy Bucks for the presentations, and Zara, you did a wonderful job, really good information. And the struggle is real, and the polio vaccines are a desperate need, so thank you.
Well, when I was in the Philippines, with the GSE tour, I took 4 young workers from here and we went. And one of the things at that point, and this is 2012, was, why are we still doing polio plus? And I'm going, wait a minute, you guys. So, you know, it's really important that Rotary, we keep up the good work, and I'm so glad to be in this club. Thank you.
And we got, with that, the drum roll for the winner of the 50-50. If you have the 4 of hearts. And Lisa's not here, so your chances of odds are better. That's great. And with that, if we have one little over, I will give you the thought for the day. Today is ability is what you're capable of doing. Motivation determines what you do. Attitude determines how well you do it. So go out and do it well, Rotarians, and have a great day.
Oh.
That's like so funny. 27, and then it's like, oh wait, no, it's like.